It's getting spicy for Joe Biden in the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, which is now basically the Joe Biden laptop scandal because documents and texts that have been released implicate Joe Biden himself. Now, last night at the debate, Joe Biden said, "I have not taken a penny from foreign money in my entire life," which I find hilarious because the accusation is that you're using your family as an intermediary. So technically, that was the truth. Assuming that all of this stuff is correct, and we have a corroborating witness. A man named Tony Bobulinski came out yesterday and gave a press conference. Now, there's a lot of weird goings on, but the big breaking news, the FBI has asked Tony Bobulinski for an interview this morning, which my understanding is will postpone the Senate hearing that they were going to have with this man. There is something really interesting in a text message that was released that apparently shows that it's on the Russian MTS network. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that means anything, but all of a sudden the left is saying that proves it's a Russian disinformation campaign. Haha, we've won. Well, it actually doesn't prove anything. We don't know why that would be the case, where the photo was taken, why it says MTS Russia. The dude could have been in Russia, but I'm sorry, man. Listen, right now we have a human being who is on the emails saying, yo, Joe Biden is the big guy, is the chairman. That's him. He was signing off on these deals, and that's that. Perhaps there is a personal reason this Tony Bobulinski guy would lie or stretch the truth. Seems like from these text messages, they kind of ripped the guy off. And I wonder if that's what he's really upset about. But it doesn't matter if he's upset or not. You cut somebody out of the deal, don't be surprised when they turn around and say, yo, look what I got. Let's read the story, and then we'll go through what's going on right now. This is big. I mean, the FBI interviewing this guy could be bad news for the Biden family. From the Post-Millennial, breaking. FBI asks Hunter Biden's ex-business associate, Tony Bobulinski, for an interview this morning. They say, well, I mean, that's the gist of the story, to be completely honest. Yesterday, we saw Bobulinski. Now, here's some really important context. I kind of glossed over this in the story the other day, and I want to make sure I highlight this. Check it out. They say yesterday, Bobulinski appeared in front of cameras before the second presidential debate, where he confirmed Joe Biden's involvement in a secret China deal for a $5 million forgivable loan. I'm going to stop you right there. Forgivable loan with no interest. They're straight giving this dude cash money. Come on. Forgivable loan, no interest. That's it. We're giving you $5 million. Now, for tax purposes, how do you give someone money without having to be taxed as income? I'm not entirely sure if this loophole would work. Maybe. But typically, my understanding is when you get a loan, you don't pay taxes on it. I don't know. I could be wrong. That could be the reason they did it. They're going to say in a 2017 email from top officials with the Chinese energy firm CEFC, it details an agreement in which the firm gave the $5 million non-secured forgivable loan to the Bidens. It's according to a Breitbart interview with Bobulinski. And we've actually seen a lot of these documents. The Daily Caller reported on this as well. Now, I want to highlight one thing before we go to the next bit, which is I believe this will delay the Senate hearing. 2017. We're already hearing the leftists say it was well after he left office. Nothing wrong with that. First of all, I don't want a president beholden to a Chinese loan. OK, that could be true for Trump as well. It's a problem for both of them. However, there's a big difference between Donald Trump having mortgages in a bank account, maybe in China. Trump says he closed the account. Maybe it's still there. It's still bad if that's the case. And Joe Biden's family, which were doing an influence investment. According to Bobulinski, he was saying these investments were not about a legitimate business arrangement. It was about them buying influence. I do not want. You got Joe Biden, whose kid is got problems, to say the least. And these are serious concerns. Now, the bigger problem is the lies. Are you going to tell me that Tony Bobulinski, a Navy veteran, is lying and working for the Russians? I don't buy it, dude. Come on. You show me this text message. People are pointing out that it says MTS Russia or whatever. Yeah, interesting. But guess what? Sometimes people go to Russia. I don't know. It's not enough. I'm sorry. If you want to get me past the literal guy testifying, well, not yet, but soon. Speaking to the FBI, this is serious. Now, I want to warn all of you. We all watched what happened with Russiagate and how they got roped through all this stuff. The witnesses are coming out. The walls are closing in. That's why I made the joke on Twitter. But I wouldn't be surprised if the leftists don't understand the jokes. Look, I'm saying this could end up being a nothing burger. It could. And what I mean by that is right now we do have some incriminating evidence. It could turn out to be not look, information may come out showing that it was all just people fighting and accusing each other of things with no real hard evidence. But I think already what we have is pretty damning. I'm just saying it might not go any further than this, so don't expect a perp walk or anything. From the Examiner, FBI asks Hunter Biden business partner Tony Bobulinski for interviews, GOP senator says, quote, I appreciate that the FBI has a job to do, and I'm glad they are finally taking an interest in these concerning financial matters that our committees have been investigating for months. And that's from Ron Johnson. I expect that Mr. Bobulinski will speak with our committee as soon as possible and fully share his insight into the Biden family business dealings. Johnson's committee also released a statement on Friday saying, this morning, lawyers for Tony Bobulinski informed the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee and Senate Finance Committee that the FBI asked his client to sit for an interview today, in addition to providing copies of his phones. Consequently, the interview scheduled for this morning has been postponed. Mr. Bobulinski has agreed to honor his commitment to sit for an interview in the future with the committees. Newly released text messages from Bobulinski suggest that Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden met with Bobulinski, Hunter Biden, and James Biden in 2017. At the time, Hunter and his associates were pursuing a potentially lucrative deal with a Chinese tycoon, complementing claims from the former vice president that he never discussed business dealings with his son. Now, I want to point out, man, show me the evidence. Prove it to me. And I think we do have some interesting evidence. The only issue, how much of it may turn out to be bunk. Let's be real. We got this laptop. The FBI has it. The email chains have been confirmed by multiple sources, someone on the email chain, but it may be Bobulinski himself. And let me just give you a warning. If Bobulinski was cut out of the deal, because he said they went behind my back and made millions from the Chinese, I'm going to give you my personal opinion. No disrespect to Mr. Bobulinski. I think it takes tremendous guts to come out and do what he did. But, I don't trust people. And it kind of sounds like maybe they went behind your back, made some money, and you were all too willing to play ball with this up until you realized they were using you and cutting you out. Then you said, you know what? I'm burning it down. So maybe he's got a grudge. I'm not saying it makes any of it false. I think there's a lot here, but I try to be careful. I try to be careful. Well, check it out. We got this story. Quote, I met Joe Biden for an hour to talk about his family business in China and have 3 phones to prove what he knew, claims Hunter Biden. It's not a quote. Hunter's former business partner just before presidential debate. This is crazy. Now, there's a lot of important stuff in here that I want to get to because there are people that are essentially trying to debunk all of this right now. First, these text messages. What I'm showing on the screen for those listening are some images. James Gillier says, ask if they have recommendation or I would do it short term if needed. But maybe he feels better if H puts there a friend with no power, but reporting comms. Don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. Okay, they should be paranoid about things, for real. Talk to Jim briefly, blah, blah, blah. These text messages coming from some kind of BlackBerry with a cracked screen, people have pointed out has, I believe it's a Russian network. And I'll read through this first. Jackie Heinrich of Fox News says something interesting. She is a national correspondent and 3 times Emmy Award-winning reporter. She tweeted, I completed searching all of Tony Bobulinski's emails. They established the chairman is China. No role for Joe Biden in the emails docs. Tony Bobulinski states himself, there are no other members besides Hunter and Jim Biden, Rob Walker, James Gillier, and Bobulinski. Someone responded, can you tell Ben Shapiro and Timcast and the rest of the clan? Well, she did when she tweeted it, and it got retweeted by several people. Also, when you tagged me in it. Ben Shapiro, my understanding is he retweeted that from her. I find that to be particularly irresponsible to do on Ben's part without having actually done a hard fact check. But if he just wants to show people that there's more information and here's a claim from somebody, that's totally fine. My immediate response was actually just to show this tweet from Arthur Schwartz when he said, you sure you read all the documents? Because it's a screenshot of a text that says, no, when he said his chairman, he was talking about his dad, and I think your dismissal of it maybe offended him a bit, but you didn't know what he was talking about. So let's let it go until the morning if we can. Many people immediately said, you got it wrong. Look at this. The Biden army, the fake Hunter Biden texts were photographed on a phone connected to MTS, a Russian mobile phone operator. MTS only operates in Russia. Are you kidding? Are you serious? So this is a text message that I'm not really interested in reading through. And it says MTS RUS LTE up top. Does that mean this whole thing is Russian disinformation? Are you kidding? People sometimes go to Russia. And I'll tell you this. Interesting, for sure. But if the DNI, FBI, and DOJ concur it's not a Russian disinformation campaign and they have the laptop, then sorry, just because someone was using a Russian SIM card at some point doesn't prove anything to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. More importantly, when they mention the chairman, the interesting thing is Bob Alinsky himself, here we go. He also said what he had told the media outlets that, quote, Hunter often referred to his father as the big guy or my chairman, language that appears in emails that appear to discuss percentage breakdowns for a business deal with a Chinese energy firm, as laid out in a May 2017 email. In one of these emails, it says 10 held by H for the big guy. Who's the big guy? Is it Joe Biden? This witness is saying it is. This guy is on the emails. This guy is involved in this. You don't get to do years of Russiagate with no evidence and nothing but lies and then tell me I can't come out with this. I entertained the Russiagate. I say it every time. Showed the evidence, or I should say the lack thereof, the pseudo evidence that they were putting out. And it was bunk. Now we have this. So this guy gives a press conference, and I should probably read through this, but maybe. Okay, let's read through a bit of this story about this guy's press conference. I want to show you this image. President Donald Trump has invited Hunter Biden's former business partner, Tony Bobulinski, to be his debate guest. That was really interesting. This guy's a veteran. You want to tell me he's a liar? By all means, impugn his honor. I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to call him a liar. Joe Biden, I'm going to call a liar. I mean, Joe Biden's he lies all the time. He lied about fracking. Come on. He's like, I never said I opposed fracking. Cue the video of him saying it over and over and over again. So this guy, Tony, gave a press conference yesterday. He said he had 3 phones and he was going to be providing copies of them. He said he was angry with Hunter after he wanted to use funds for a prospective deal with a Chinese energy company. He said he was angry with Hunter after Hunter wanted to use funds for a prospective deal with a Chinese energy company as his personal piggy bank. Quote, I will be providing to the FBI the devices which contain the evidence corroborating what I have said. So I will not be taking any questions at this time, he told reporters who make up President Donald Trump's traveling press pool. It was really interesting when he said that, because then he kind of just stood there, and it was really funny because someone goes, so are you not taking questions? He goes, I will not be taking questions. And then the journalist goes, well, we're going to ask him anyway. It was kind of funny. And then he just walks off. He said, I have heard Joe Biden say he's never discussed the business with Hunter. This is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden, said Bobulinski. I was told this past Sunday by somebody who was also involved in the matter that if I went public with this information, I would bury all of us. Man, the Bidens included. I have no wish to bury anyone. He described what he said was a May 2nd, 2017 meeting with Joe Biden to discuss a business venture involving China that would invest in infrastructure, real estate, and technology in the United States. Now, in this tweet, Jackie Heinrich says the chairman is China and no role for Biden. Tony Bobulinski states there are no other members. Okay, let's explain this. For one, maybe she's right. Maybe Tony Bobulinski's got an axe to grind, and so he's just saying this. Now, there is a text message that says, he's talking about his dad when he says his chairman. That corroborates what Tony Bobulinski said. Listen, maybe this turns out to be some grand conspiratorial hoax, but I do not err on the side of conspiracies. I err on the side of Occam's razor. The simple solution tends to be the correct one. This guy says it. We have text messages. There are emails. The DNI, the DOJ, and the FBI said not Russian disinformation. The only logical conclusion then I can come up to, based on the information at hand, is that it's legitimate. So please, what else would you have me do? Jackie Heinrich, I believe, is incorrect. We have a witness saying the chairman is, in fact, Joe Biden, and a text. So I discount that. No role for Joe Biden in the email's docs. Makes sense considering he's using his son and brother as intermediaries. He wouldn't have a role in these companies other than I'm the boss, I'm the big guy, I'm the chairman, you give me a cut. Capiche? Tony Bobulinski states there were no other members. Yes, that's why the email said 10 held by H for the big guy, because the big guy wasn't a member. Get it? And there's this one from Paul Beckett. He says, an ex-business partner of Hunter Biden said he consulted his father about a planned venture with a Chinese oil company. Joe Biden denied any involvement in this venture, and corporate records reviewed by the Journal show no role for him. Now, I called the guy Columbo, maybe a little mean, because what he's saying is actually fine. We looked at the records. It doesn't show any role for Joe Biden. I think it's kind of silly to point out, though, as I just stated. I said, Joe Biden was using his family as intermediaries to enrich himself off his position as VP. And for some reason, we just can't find records with his name on it. Good work, Columbo. You remember Columbo, that old show, the detective guy? Anyway, listen, Joe Biden presumably was doing all of this while he was VP. According to, this was the craziest thing, the craziest revelation from this guy, Bobulinski, is he said he was approached in 2015. That's right. 2015. He was approached for this. Joe Biden was vice president. Joe Biden was the big guy in the chair and all that jazz. I think Joe Biden's crooked, man. You know, I think Donald Trump is crooked, but I think he's crooked in a very specific kind of way, an opinion kind of way. Let me explain. I think Donald Trump does things that are normal business goings on that regular people probably frown upon. To me, I would say crooked, right? Stories about, Trump not paying his contractors or, just using loopholes. Now, when I say crooked, I got to admit, it's me being, not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm sure there are many Trump supporters who would say that's legal, normal business. Everyone does it. Therefore, they're fine with it. That's fine. Me personally, I think we need certain regulations and need new laws. But anyway, my point is, I've never been the biggest fan of Donald Trump, and all of you know this. But I look at what Donald Trump does with his real estate company as things we probably are not fans of, but are legally allowed. What Joe Biden was doing was bordering on treason. I'm not kidding. I know a lot of you might be saying, whoa, Tim, treason. Listen, China is an adversary of ours. I say bordering on, we are not at the point of war with China. So it's not literally treason in any capacity. But Joe Biden was trying to enrich himself off of a deal that would have benefited China. And that's something that we should not allow. He was the vice president at the time. And think about what was going on with Ukraine. Joe Biden sold out this country for power. I know. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's Russian, all that stuff. Maybe. Maybe a lot of conspiracies. But if we have a guy, look at this guy in the uniform. Come on, tell me that guy's lying. He's making it up. Tell me he works for Russia. Sorry, I can't do it. Joe Biden's a politician who's been in for 47 years, and he made himself rich somehow. Trump brought it up at the debate. He says, I don't know how you did it. 47 years in office, and you're living really well. Your brother made millions in Iraq. Yes, that's right. Biden Inc. Lucrative deals for the Biden family. But Joe was the Iron Fist. Here's how it works. Joe Biden gets in office, and now he can't do anything because he's a public servant. So he can't take these deals. His brother can. His son can. And then when he goes and has a meeting and he looks at the Ukrainian president and says, look, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Money that wasn't his, dangling in front of the face of Ukraine. Fire the prosecutor. And there's his son on the board of a company who should not have been on the board of. Hunter Biden even said he probably wouldn't have even got the job if it wasn't for his name. The Biden family has made themselves extremely wealthy. I want you to think about what $83,000 per month is. Per month. How much are you making right now? A couple grand? If you're, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Some people making nothing. You got a good middle class job, you make a couple grand. $83,000. Dude could buy a Tesla every month and still have 20 grand per month left over. Okay, fine. Taxes. Right. So after taxes, he had 45 or 50. So he could buy a lower end Tesla, I guess. That's a lot of money, dude. 83 grand is more than the average person makes in a year in this country. What was Hunter Biden doing? Listen, man. The whole thing is crooked. We're at a point where it is absolutely absurd that Hunter Biden was getting this job, that his brother was making millions. Now that Joe's been implicated by a witness with emails. Are you kidding me? And they say, it's all fake. It's all Russia. Aaron Matei tweeted that Biden can call the Hunter story Russian disinformation speaks to his confidence in the media acting as a propaganda apparatus. All a journalist would have to ask him is, are the emails real or not? He's counting on them not even rising to that minimal journalistic level. Glenn Greenwald said this is key. It's stunning. Biden hasn't even had to say if the emails are authentic. But there's a reason. Journalists don't want him to answer because then they'll lose their key excuse for not covering it, not verified, and their main defense of Biden, disinformation. We don't have news in this country anymore, my friends. I'm sorry, we don't. We have propaganda. We have political activists that want to win for their tribe. Why? That's what Twitter is. Twitter is one of the worst things to ever befall journalism. And it's funny because I used to say the opposite. I was that guy on the ground and I was tweeting things out saying I can get this information out in real time with Twitter. It's great. Now it's created an opinion feedback loop where journalists have become activists and want to win. All politics is right now is owning the other side. That's it. For me, I'll tell you, look, I'm pretty biased. I'm sick of the establishment. And so that kind of aligns me with many conservatives. But you'll often see in many of my segments, I'm not sitting here talking about conservative tax policy or pro-life versus pro-choice. I'm talking about the Democrats and the establishment and their corruption and the problems and the things they're doing. That's my bias. For many other people, it just works for them because they're conservative and they like it. But I'll tell you this. There will come a period when I start talking about corruption on the other side and it'll end up with the right not liking me. So I'm just going to do my thing. And that's it. For many of these other people, though, they like internet blood sports, debates, debate me, because that whole idea is just wanting to own the other side. Journalists have become this. They don't want to report on this because they want to win. They want to win. I have no problem whatsoever showing you this text message that says MTS Russia, a text message going around purporting to be from the database, and it shows MTS Russia. We can see, look at this crack. See the line here, the line here, and the line here, BlackBerry. Okay, look at this. Same cracks appear on this phone. So it looks at the phone as the same. Maybe these texts are fake. Okay, that's fine. I got no problem bringing that up. I'm not here to own anybody. I'm trying to understand this to the best of my ability. And the best of my ability says Occam's razor suggests it's legit. It's legit. Biden Inc. Read the article from Politico magazine. We'll see what the FBI finds. And maybe it turns out to be a big nothing burger. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast, my other channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.